Good day everyone. In our previous class we looked at some of the rules that guide subject-verb agreements. Now the first and basic rule, which is a singular subject taking a singular verb while a plural subject takes a plural verb. We also looked at the rule that guides and, the rule that guides either or, neither nor, as well as the rule that guides quantifiers. And so today we're going to look at other rules that guide subject-verb agreements. And the next rule is for words or subjects that are separated by expressions like in addition to, together with, as well as, and alongside, you ignore these words and focus on the initial subject. And so we have instances like gambling as well as smoking is his weakness. The king, together with his chiefs, encourages hard work. Now we have to ignore words like as well as and together with. So the focus is on gambling and the king. The words gambling and the king are singular in nature, and so they are meant to take singular verbs. And so we have gambling taking the singular verb is, as well as the king taking a singular verb encourages. And so we have to ignore these words as well as, together with, in addition to, alongside, and all of such words, because every other subject that we have after them are not relevant. Now the next rule we'll be looking at is that which guides collective nouns. Now for collective nouns, the right form of verb to use depends on the intent of the writer. Now if the intent of the writer is to consider the group as a unit, then we have to use a singular verb. But then if the intention of the writer is to consider the group as individuals in separate units, in that case you have to make use of a plural verb. Now here are examples. The staff meets on Tuesday morning to discuss customer complaints. We have the staff and meet. Now in the first example, we've made use of the staff as the singular unit. And so we are saying that a group of people considered to be a unit meet on a particular day. And that is why we've made use of a singular verb. Now for the next example, the staff work hard to meet goals and deadlines. Now for the staff in this sentence, we are looking at the individuals in that particular group. And so in that sense, we have to make use of plural verbs. That is why we used work and meet to indicate that intention. Now the next rule we're going to look at is that which guides here and there. Now for expressions or for statements that begin with here and there, the true subject follows the verb. Now let's look at these examples. Here is the boy and here are the boys. And so we have is and the boy, her and the boys. Now the verb is already indicates that the right subject to follow, or the true subject to follow, has to be in the singular form. So that is why we have the boy following is. Now in the next example, we have her and the boys. Now her is in the plural form, and definitely the right subject to follow it has to also be in the plural form. That is why we have the boys, which also follows the right verb, which is in the plural form. There is a high hurdle to jump. There are 4 hurdles to jump. Now for the first instance, we have is followed by the right subject, which is in the singular form. While for the next example, we have are in the plural form that also takes a plural subject, which is 4 hurdles. The next rule to be considered is that which guides the subjunctive mood. And so in English, the subjunctive mood indicates wishes, suggestions, opinions, and sometimes requests. Now, in the right sense, where you have to make use of expressions that show wishes or that indicate wishes or suggestions, we replace were with was. And so instead of using the verb was, we'll make use of the verb were. And so we have examples like, if John were here, you did be sorry. Now in the real sense of it, John is a singular subject. And the true verb rather to use has to be was. But then because this statement is in the subjunctive mood, where would have to replace the verb was. In the second example, we are trying to express a wish. And so it would be wrong to use was. because wishes are also in the subjunctive mood. So we have examples like, if John were here, you did be sorry, and not if John was here. I wish today were Friday, and not I wish today was Friday, because you're trying to express a wish which falls in the subjunctive mood. Another rule is that when periods of time, distances, and sums of money are considered as a unit, we make use of a singular verb. So we have examples like 4 years is a long time to be away from loved ones. And so we are considering 4 years to be a unit, and so we have to make use of a singular verb. Now, same for 3 miles and $10. We are considering these expressions as being a single unit, and so we make use of a singular verb. However, we can have an exception to this particular rule, especially when the sum of money is not considered as a unit. An example is this: Naira notes are scattered on the floor. Now, the Naira notes in that example have not been treated as a single unit. And so for that reason, the Naira note has to be followed by a plural verb. And that is why we have Naira notes are instead of Naira notes is. So this is all we'll be able to take for subject-verb agreement. Subscribe and share.